Alright, I am Biggles once again, and this is chapter something. Because
Chapter 5,
it's
I
chapter
believe.
something.
I hate to
Oh,
be pedantic, Biggles, but it's chapter 5.
I hate to be pedantic, but
Orderliness.
shut up.
I've always thought you were one for pedantry. Unless I'm mistaken, you all seem like a bit of a pedant to me. Constantly correcting me on minor issues about everything.
Is that like pedobear?
Pedantry. Pedantic, you know?
No, no,
Maybe
no,
it's
no,
an
no.
English
You
thing.
see, I could totally be pedobear.
Really? I never thought that of you, but whatever floats your...
No, no, not pedobear. Pedabear.
Oh! Well, that makes sense. I was a little bit, I was a little bit worried for a second there. I was like, oh wow, the side of Biggles I've never seen before. But I'm interested in seeing in the future. Oh lord, creeper running along the roof.
This is the famous chapter where this is actually, I'd argue this is the first really scary chapter of the game.
Oh lord, yeah, that was
Yep.
pretty scary. Is it just me or does it have like terrible FPS though? With, like a bit of stutter. Well, it's better now, but just then.
It really does. It's you'll see the frame rate fluctuate between nothing and 30.
Well,
Pretty much for the
funnily enough,
remainder.
I made the... Well, it was only £2. I made the mistake of buying King Arthur 2, the role-playing game.
Oh,
And then
I
the infamous game.
I bought Fuzzy that once because it looked terrible and I had to give him a gift.
Oh well, I thought it looked okay, kind of like Total War with a fantasy theme. But it turns out this was the infamous game where the developer said that when people complained about performance, which is absolutely horrible on that game, which I've already tried, he said that you only need 24 FPS to play a game. So according to him,
Kind of shows ignorance of what FPS is. Actually, that's something that often annoys me when you get people who are just like, well, the human eye can see 24 frames per second and therefore it is okay to play a game. It's not really true because what you're seeing on the computer is an average, not
yeah, you mentioned this
constant.
before.
So I mean, yes, it's true that technically 24 frames per second as a constant would be decent to play a game. No computer is capable of a constant.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned this to me before.
Was it one of
But
those moments
not,
when nature
but notwithstanding the
teaches you a painful lesson,
technicality
and
of
you
it, all
realize
I
that
know
even
is
the
that
most
20.
experienced
Well,
dowser can get it
personally,
wrong?
I'd say anything less than 40 is kind of poor, very much so.
Yeah, that's a decent level to get yourself the average that you need pretty much constantly.
Yeah, I'm definitely a kind of a. I definitely always aim for 60 FPS kind of guy though. Some people, you get that some people that are okay with 30 or whatever, but for more eye candy. But I'm towards the opposite end of the spectrum. You, what are you? Are you an FPS man, eye candy man, or are you in the middle? Don't really mind either way.
I try to get games running as smoothly as possible. This is sadly as smoothly as possible as this will run.
Oh lord, I remember you mentioned on the earlier videos that you even tried turning down some settings, but to no avail.
Oh no, turning down settings made it worse. Which, I don't understand how that works, but...
Neuro complained of very bad FPS with this too. He was like, the highest he got was 29, and he has a GCX 580, so...
Thank him. It looks like they've
Yeah.
improved things a little bit because occasionally here I'm getting at least 30, I can tell, but... Like here looks okay,
That's
until there'll be something that pops up and
yeah,
the frame rate will drop. Yeah, here's our first new enemy type, Crazy Blowtorch Man.
wow. Oh my lord, absolute military precision, his cocking of the bolt there. Oh, you said cocking. Oh, finish him off with the... Oh, there we go, he's down and out.
So the interesting thing about this gun, and the reason I love combat in this game so much, in massive sarcasm quotes, is that only half the time does it actually shoot at what you're pointing it at.
Oh, I see, it's one of those massive spread kind of Battlefield 2 deals.
Occasionally he decides that, well yeah, and I mean, that's nice in a game where you're looking for realism, but for Christ's sakes, we're talking about a game where the primary weapon's a lock.
Why would you just He doesn't even. It's not even a lock. It's a lock in his hands that he's holding for like extra weight in his punches, which just doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, at this point, he's broken his knuckles 5 times because of the chain.
Look, I know he's not a martial arts expert. I'm not expecting him to pull out a katana or anything, but I think anyone older, like 14 or over, would realize that a lock is just not a good weapon. Like, kids are pretty street smart these days. They've got knives, all sorts of things.
Actually, I'd argue these days kids are more street smart than the adults.
Considering
Oh, very much so.
I've seen crazy things in my time. Crazy things.
It is my duty
I too have seen crazy things in real life and on the internet, but in real life has more impact since it's not on the screen, but it's still pretty fun, it's still pretty disturbing.
and
Fine.
culpable inefficiency.
You're never quite the same after the gifts we've seen recently, which we'll leave
Breach of
untouched. We
duty
won't talk about that.
in the shape of
it's-
ample warning
well, world, it's
from
probably better we don't talk
warning
about them.
equipment rod was
The gifts.
a
Just
direct
refer to them as the
cause
gifts.
of the
You are
accident.
safer this way.
My repeated appeals to
Don't
the
worry, your
captain
pretty little heads
to
about them.
deal with the threat
Uh,
were
Now we've got
ignored.
elaborate Morse code message. I really
Yeah.
never understood Morse code, I just don't get it at all. It doesn't
It,
make any sense to me.
That
it was
the
designed,
fact
actually,
that
what
the
I don't understand is why they're using it on this boat, because by this
think
point
Morse
in
code-
history, I believe they had better forms of communication than this.
I believe so too. I think they do still retain Morse, but they don't have a little machine like that. This is like 1850s kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
find that, yeah.
it could just be that Soviet Russia had to resort to such things, but
Yeah.
I don't
Soviet
know.
Russia, Morse codes you, I hear. That was an awful joke, sorry. My apologies. I had to
Oh, on the
throw that
contrary, they do and they're good at it.
in. Morse codes you. Oh my.
Exactly.
This starter. Someone needs to complain to developers about this. I'm surprised I really had never heard of this game beforehand. I know I
It's,
kind of heard of it a bit before, but like nothing. It looks good though, does it? Would you say? What graphics rating would you give it?
Oh, well, see, the problem is that the game itself looks good. But clearly they didn't bother to make sure it actually worked on any
Yeah.
computer other than the Soviet supercomputers they have over there, I suppose.
Quad GTX 690s.
Are you kidding? They've already moved on to the 800 series. We're way behind.
Oh man, the Soviet supercomputers. Yeah, it's nice. Like it's nice looking good, definitely.
just-
but you can get a good balance of looking good and playing good. Witcher 2, Battlefield 3, despite the disgustingly awful blue tint and ridiculous art direction, does it pretty good at like a technical level, and runs surprisingly well on old hardware. So, for this, just I wouldn't even. Well, before with my 5670, I wouldn't even want to attempt to try this.
This is a 6970, as I think you know, and it's barely keeping up with it.
So if I tried it, I would. And you have
Which is pretty mine's actually overclocked slightly.
Oh, well, so then you're a bit better. But we have very similar, more like PCs now, actually. I was a bit behind all this time.
Wait,
I got my money's worth.
What do you have then, now?
7870.
Yeah, it's about the same GPU then, actually.
Yeah, so I know it must not seem special to you, but going from a 5670 to that was very nice indeed.
True, I mean,
As you
I'm
can
now
imagine.
I'm now bummed because JM has a better graphics card than I do.
Yes, indeed.
Sad
That is
reality.
just- who would have thought? Who would have thought? That's all I can say. It's just like, if you went back in 2010 and told me JM would have a really nice, good piece. Oh, look at you cycling through everything there. Axe,
Well,
axe, lock, or gun.
an interesting fact about my computer in its current state, my mouse wheel was broken.
Oh, is it now? What is it? Loose,
Well,
like you roll it and then it'll go down
Rolling
thousands of pages.
well, you'll see rolling it up actually rolls it down now.
Oh, so it's kind of like forced inversion upon you.
And I frequently forget that.
Oh, well, that must be kind of confusing. I did get some bad news though. My trusty mouse died the other day. Its right click. I thought it was a problem with dirty connectors, you know, like the click connectors. But then air dusted out to no avail. and that it just right clicks all the time now for some reason, even when I don't want it to. It's quite a sad feeling when your mouse dies. But you've never been one for expensive mice or anything, have you?
Oh, this is a $5 mouse right here. It's got like 800 DPI. It's a real gaming beast.
One I had was £35 when I bought it, and now because it's kind of old, not in production anymore, it's going to cost me a solid £80 to replace it, which I'm not really happy about. But luckily I got this free mouse. Amazon were very nice that I ordered this mouse because I thought my other mouse was broken initially.
Amazon being nice?
Yeah.
That's a shocker.
Surprisingly. Well, not nice, just fucked up, I guess. They, what do you call it, sent me this I ordered the G400, but then cancelled it, but they just still sent it anyway whilst giving me the refund. So I got this for free. It looks okay, it's pretty nifty. Does its job right, I guess. My KD in Battlefield is immense, I can assure you.
Well, this mouse just sucks.
No, you need to get a proper one. You know, everyone that has one of these cheap mice, like, oh, it's fine. But then once you try a proper one, you won't go back. When's your birthday?
October 22nd, so we're talking a little while.
Can I send it for Valentine's Day if I say no homo beforehand, or like? Would
You
that
know
work?
what? You know what? That would actually work on me because it's a free mouse.
Oh, so you would do things for a free mouse, would you not?
I'm a cheap whore like that.
Oh my, cheap whores. We've had experience of them lately. You're like Fuzzy, kind of. He's a cheap whore for
Oh, Fuzzy's great.
retardation. He's a great guy, man. He's
Fuzzy's
an honourable,
awesome.
learned man.
He'll buy you Max Payne 3 if you give him Arma 2.
He's gone
Oh yeah, he enjoys paying. What was it? Double, I believe. Max
Oh,
Payne
actually triple.
Oh wow. He really
Because
did
Arma
something
2,
there.
Arma 2 at the time was regularly priced at 30, but well, they had the
thanks.
price down by third because it was some sale or something, and he goes, "Biggles, I cannot afford to get myself Arma 2." That's how I imagine Fuzzy sounds. I don't actually know.
Well, you don't know what Fuzzy sounds like. That's the funniest
no.
thing. He has an absolutely deep, really manly sounding voice. I swear to God, ask anyone that's played with him. He really does. It's really surprising. Oh, look at these advanced cover mechanics. He just got his door in his face.
That's how I do things. In here, I'm not actually sure what to do because the game's not very clear about it.
This
But
game is a little bit unclear at times. Difficult. Not very difficult, but you're not really sure.
you'll
exactly
actually
what to
laugh
do.
once you see what's happening here. He has to run out of ammunition, and then you just sort of take the gun from him.
This is the most
Because
unintentional
apparently zombies
comedic
curl up
moment.
into the fetal position when they run out of ammo.
That's the most unintentionally comedic moment of gaming history. Would that be fair to say?
Ooh,
Why
there's
did he
some
use- why did he
saving
swing
lag.
it into?
Let's see here. I actually don't remember this chapter because I don't recall it being a particularly eventful one. I know the next chapter things get really fucked up. Oh, that's friendly.
Oh god, that FPS, how do you even aim? I'm sorry, I was OCD, I noticed it so much. But bullets man doesn't seem friendly.
What's funny is that he waits there outside the door and just lets you kind of shoot at him.
Courteous. Very courteous of him.
Shining artificial intelligence,
We've had a few examples of that. We've had the guy attacking thin air in front of him whilst you proceeded to hit him with the lock. We've had that. We've had a few moments of quite brilliant AI.
Yeah, this game was
Like-
built by winners.
Comrade
Oh,
officer,
definitely. It's been nailed
What is it?
repeatedly.
you have a reply.
I mean,
from-
I
I'm pretty
do
sure
like it.
Patrick Back as well.
That was fast.
I mean, I actually do like this game, and it's because at the very least you can tell they're trying to make it a good
You
experience.
informed the captain? Yes.
You could say,
Of course.
if
They're-
I'm being fair to them, it's a bit ahead of its time, maybe. It's like, they tried out some new things, and just... they're not big devs, are they, who developed it?
This is a company called 1C Games, I believe. It's
You
this
never heard
little...
of them.
Yeah, neither had I. This is pretty much all they did, but
So it's kind of an indie game. Well, not really, but you know, well, kind of, is it?
It's a you could actually call it reasonably indie because the publisher did this in another game and that was about it.
Yeah, so pretty much like it's no Braid, I mean, but it's an indie game. It's pretty ambitious.
I wouldn't honestly call Braid an indie game. Jonathan Blow, the guy who developed that, spent 250,000 out of his own pocket on it.
Oh really?
Oh god,
there I
messages
am.
in the corner.
What's that say? I posted.
That's an interesting feature of these.
My stupid Patrick Back avatar.
YouTube, I can promise you that you've never had any video with a picture of Patrick Bach looking dopey in the corner before.
Bitches don't know about my nails. We had quite a good run there. Neuro is the master. Saint Patrick with his little.
He
Yeah, what was it?
Neuro really is a comedic wizard. I don't know how he does it.
He's absolutely funniest guy. Some of his puns, his Tiger Bruce puns, really are something else. Like how he works them into his conversation. It makes me laugh thinking about it.
It's interesting. I believe he speaks English better than I do. He must. In order.
Actually I was talking about this today with Valerie. He's like a lot of foreigners, he's appreciative of his own English skills. He speaks a lot better than he thinks he does.
Well,
He says, "Oh, I can't speak too well," but he really does. He sounds fine, perfectly, and he writes very well. His
I
typing
can't
is, like,
speak
excellent.
too well, dear Lord. He speaks English as well as I do, easily.
No, but it's a feature. A lot of I'm not sure how many foreign people you've had, but a lot of them will say, "Oh, my English isn't too good," and they end up speaking better than the vast majority of the populace on this great land that I live in. So
I strongly suspect most of you guys have never been over here because then you'd understand.
no, most English people have
Just,
not set foot over there ever.
well, keep it that way because you're happier. You really are happier not having come over here?
Yes, we just received this.
I don't know, Beagles. I've been there a few times, and I thought it was
It's
great.
depressing. It's
We'll get to it.
well, no. Visiting and staying are two completely different things.
Captain is in the cargo bay.
Oh,
Visiting
yeah, like moving there permanently.
don't. Unless, of course, it's to make yourself instantly wealthier since our economy's in this shit.
Oh well, I was gonna move and make my money selling not bulldozing disenfranchised low-income homes and redeveloping them into luxury condominiums. Would that work out, or oh god, blowtorch guys, man?
There's a lot of them, and I think the thing is they do, well, they do actually seem to not understand the concept of shock value.
No, they.
In that we've now seen this guy a bunch of times, but... Because, I mean, it was kind of scarier having him there the first time.
Seeing him walk along the walls like a creeper, that was pretty scary. I think we can all agree.
This is just, now they're going to introduce him as a normal enemy type. There's, I think Chapter 11 is by far the scariest in the game, and you'll see why. It is just a fucked up experience.
What is? I was thinking about this today, actually, because I was watching one of these videos, in fact. What is the scariest game?
Personally...
Oh my god, wait, 1 second before we start. More shiny AI there, he just kind of gave up.
So it's almost out of time here, so I gotta get it in quick. That would be, for me, Penumbra Black Plague.
Alright then, next episode we will discuss.
Whoa, way to get yourself banned, Felix.